I am thinking about all of the different processes that either I've been through or, jobs and interviewing and day to day, and thinking about how failure has played a role in the process of, getting better at day-to-day things. I mean, we when one of the I think one of the cruelest things that ends up getting taught to people when they're younger in school is that failure equals bad and that you should feel bad. I mean, the feeling bad might be something that's sort of like it leads into it, and maybe not explicitly, but there's definitely an element where when somebody has failed at something, that there is a communication around it of bad, so feel bad because you shouldn't ever fail or you can't ever fail. And that is difficult to looking back. It's hard to think about like all of the people that potentially could have done so many more or better or more fulfilling things by being encouraged um, from failure instead of being shamed by it, since you then avoid it. And so that potentially makes you want to take more safe routes, um, and not, be uh, be as willing to like risk something because of the fact that you are worried that failure equals bad or like you're going to do something wrong. And so thinking about like, in education, if you fail a test, like you potentially get some sort of like failing grade or whatever that might be. And there isn't, at least in terms of like traditional schooling, um, like when I was in school, like if you failed the test, like you failed it, that was it. You got one chance, done, like no more. And then you would either need to like, if that led to you getting a bad grade, um, and potentially needing to like retake tests during or retake classes during the summer, then you'd have to do summer school or whatever. So building that into people when like nothing is ever done perfectly the first time that it's done. Obviously, over time, like the process is learned, and so that can then be taught to others, and then like they can be more correct. But humans overall are inherently flawed, and so by building a um, culture around failure being bad and not failure being a learning experience or failure being an opportunity to say that didn't go right. Let's, let's see what, let's like look at it and see what could have gone better. Um, I think it's the same thing with like relationships and whatnot. It's like if one person looks at themselves as having failed in a relationship, like that could mean all sorts of things, obviously, depending on what the quote unquote failure was is gonna change. Um, but in terms of like the overall feeling of like we should, I don't know if celebrate failure is the right word, because depending on the circumstances, failure can be significant. Like the impact can be significant.